season opener for the Di9 Designs NAOR series is tonight right here at Michigan International Speedway. This is going to be a fun one, I expect, as we had qualifying and duels last week, and now we're here tonight for the actual race, the JuicySpydr Studios 200, and I am looking forward to this. This track, of course, one of my favorites, and I absolutely love watching the racing that goes on here. I'm Josh Coppernoll. I'm going to be joined by Brett Bennett here in a moment, but for right now, we are just going to be solo just for a couple minutes till Brett gets here. But what an off season it has been. Lots of changes. If you didn't catch last week, we've had lots of changes, and tonight, of course, using the Gen 7 Cup car. But I think we have Brett. Brett,
yep, I'm back. I am doing well tonight. Looking forward to getting the season underway here tonight. Should be a good race here. Michigan, always fun. We saw two great races in the duels last week. I think we'll get more of the same here tonight.
Yeah, I'm fully expecting it. I think these guys really put on a great show. Duel 1, of course, won by Pacey Wygant. Duel 2 was won by Jonathan Parker. And, I don't think there's really any surprise to that. But at the same time, again, new season, new car. But still, same two drivers that really dominated last season. Starting off with wins in the duels this season.
Yeah, and I think just looking at it, you got to think that Wygant and Parker are probably our two championship favorites again this season. Both very strong, consistent drivers. I mean, Jonathan Parker, I am not sure. You can correct me if I'm wrong here, but I'm pretty sure he has not lost a full season championship on JCTV when he has been there for the entire season. So he's always strong. Last year, though, Pacey Wygant, him and Parker were neck and neck all season long. So I think we're going to see that tonight. We saw in those heats, tire management will matter, but also a lot of drafting, kind of pack racing will be seen a little bit of too. So a lot of things to keep your eye on here tonight. And who knows? It's a kind of track where you can definitely get some surprise people up front, especially if you play your cards right and possibly pull some strategies. So we'll have to see what happens here.
Yeah, this track I think is going to be a great place for the season opener, and not the typical Daytona, Talladega type racing, but nonetheless, here at Michigan International Speedway still produces some fun racing. We have just a couple minutes until the session will be advanced. You can see up on the ticker it's saying that there are 19 minutes remaining in practice. That is not the case. They will be advancing the session. And, of course, no qualifying tonight because, again, we had qualifying last week. And the dual races. So we'll be, as soon as the session is advanced, we'll go from practice straight to drivers getting on the grid. And I believe iRacing rules, it's only 60 seconds that they will have to get on the grid once the session is advanced.
I believe it will. I believe it will be 2 minutes on grid because they don't have a qualifying session. It's straight from practice to the race, but we'll see. We already obviously have the starting lineup set from last week. Still looks like we might be waiting on a few people who were qualified into this race to arrive. As I believe we had 24 cars qualify in last week, and currently I am seeing, I believe, 16 in the server. So possibly waiting, but if they're not in the next, I believe, 1 minute, they're not going to be making the start here tonight.
There are 24 in the server.
You know, they put up 2 sessions, and I'm betting I'm in the wrong session. Because when I joined it, there was a bunch of people in that one.
I do not see your name as connected.
That is why I was in the wrong session. So technical issues on my end. They didn't tell me that there was a second session, so I blame somebody other than myself. Although it's probably me being incompetent at computers. I was confused why only 16 people showed up. I guess maybe they put up a practice session before the race tonight, or they messed up something with the conditions. So maybe I had to make a new session. I am now registered for what I believe is the correct session.
And that being said, drivers are on the grid, and we are getting ready to go racing. Starting on the pole is Zachary Meredith, Jonathan Parker to his outside, P2. Pacey Wadgett will start third, Noah Blackwell fourth. Nathan Lehman, Josh Arnold make up row 3. Row 4 is going to be Hunter Peach, Jonathan Canfield, 7th and 8th. Starting 9th going to be Donnie Kite, 10th, Cole Snyder. In 11th, John Osborne, Nick Kapiak to his outside. Row 7, Dylan Chappell, Jimmy Mensch. Michael Morgan and Chase McGuire make up row 8.
And rounding out the rest of the field is going to be starting 17th, Kenneth Cheney, alongside Hunter Sr., then Justin Quimby and Giovanni Klein. Row 11, Mike Campbell and Braden Holt, after Braden Holt, I believe, crashed in our duel. And then making up the final row will be John W. Phillips and Jose Ruiz. And I am in our correct session, so we're ready to go.
Drivers on the back stretch. So we are getting ready to go racing. 200 miles, 100 laps around the 2-mile D-shaped oval in Brooklyn, Michigan, the Irish Hills. Just inside Lenawee County. I can keep going with location, but I'm not. Pace car is going to pull into pit road. So here we go for the season opener of the Di9 Design NAOR Series. Green flag is in the air. We are underway.
A good launch from Meredith and Parker. They're going to be side by side in turn 1 for the race lead. Everybody gets away cleanly. Let's see if we see that same kind of pack racing we saw in the duels. Both duels are able to keep it clean for a while, but a lot bigger field here tonight with all the cars on track.
Jonathan Parker originally qualified 4th, won the duel, so he should have started in 4th. But he had the front row, and look at this. Pacey Wygant and Jonathan Parker side by side for the race lead. Parker will lead lap 1. Wygant made quick work of Zachary Meredith. Get around him, and now, oh my, Parker I think got a little loose. This is going to allow Wygant to clear Jonathan Parker.
Wygant drove it in super deep in the turn 3 on that last lap. He was able to get under Parker and Meredith in one move, clear Meredith and almost clear Parker, and he's able to take the race lead, the 0-0. Pacey Wygant looking really strong here early on the going, and here comes Nathan Lehman looking to take it 3 wide for second.
And they are going to be 3 wide. Big push. Hunter Peach on Lehman. That's Snow Blackwell.
That was a super speedway type push from Hunter Peach to Nathan Lehman. And you could see that 14 car get accelerated down the straightaway by the 45. Able to get side by side with Jonathan Parker there and slide up in front of Zachary Meredith up in the 3rd spot.
Now Lehman is looking underneath Jonathan Parker. And they're going to be 3 wide for the race lead. As Wygant moves all the way up, Parker in the middle, Lehman right there on the bottom.
Yeah, we see people really in the qualifiers, that outside line, so moving third line. Here we're really seeing that inside line work pretty well. We'll have to see if that continues to be the case as we move forward. And that is something I had mentioned it last time, but the newer track models on iRacing tend to have more of a change in where you can run from one session to the next, more temperature dependent, as Nathan Lehman able to clear for the race lead. But yeah, if it's a little cooler, maybe we'll see some different lines develop, and also as more rubber gets laid down in a lane, you will see which lane is faster probably change throughout this race.
Nathan Lehman trying to hold off Jonathan Parker. Parker's right there, all over the back bumper of Lehman. Hunter Peach looking to make a move under Pacey Wygant. Oh, I think Lehman caught the wall a little bit. Parker goes to the bottom. They're going to be side by side. Lap led that time by Jonathan Parker. Pacey Wygant now trying the crossover. He's underneath Nathan Lehman.
Yeah, these 5 cars under a blanket out in front of the field. They've got only a little bit. Jonathan Canfield's up in the 6th spot. He just got a little bit loose behind them. But yeah, I think everybody out. The one thing I'd be concerned of if I'm in this top pack, seeing them dice and slice with each other, it's got to be putting a little more pressure on those tires running hard. And if we get a long run here, that could come into play.
Zachary Meredith looking back underneath Pacey Wygant. Meredith, of course, started on the pole, lost the lead immediately.
Yeah, now Josh Arnold, Jonathan Canfield, Nick Happick, and Noah Blackwell have kind of moved into this front pack. 9 cars now right under a blanket. A nice slider pulled by the 45, and Hunter Peach able to slide in front of Meredith and take over the 4th position.
Nathan Lehman underneath Pacey Wygant. Lehman wants to lead back. Here comes Hunter Peach. He's going to make it 3 wide underneath Lehman.
We got caution.
54, Braden Holt around.
Yeah, Holt had troubles in the duels. And not sure what happened to him here. I'm not sure if it was a neck code or a side draft gone long. Him and Chase McGuire got together. Looks like just a side draft, an aggressive side draft, and definitely a little bit of netcode between the 9 and the 54. Sends the 54 for a spin. Don't think he hit anything, though, so I think he'll be fine to continue. Might not be most happy, though, with the number 9, Chase McGuire.
Didn't hit anything. Caught the grass, got up in the air a little bit. I think Braden Holt will be all right.
See if people come down pit road here. And in fact, our race leader, Jonathan Parker, is going to come to pit road. Pacey Wygett, though, does stay out.
A few drivers staying
it should
out.
Be noted. I actually got a third. A few drivers staying out. Pacey Wygett, Jonathan Canfield, Kenneth Chaney, Jimmy Minch.
And John Phillips.
Yep, they will be our top 5. Not a lot of laps on the tires. A little surprised how many people come into pit road right now. And a lot of fuel-only stops. So I'm wondering if the fuel window is such that people are just wanting to top off their tanks right now. And if I'm remembering right, I did run a Gen 4 race here. I believe it was either in the might have been the. I forget if I made a sack start here, because I know I made a start at Dega. It might have been in a court, but I ran a race here that I believe was 100 laps in I believe a next gen car. And I remember that race was basically a fuel mileage race. You wanted to stretch the fuel to make it on 2 stops instead of 3. So that might be the case here tonight. And if that is the case, then I think that's why you're seeing so many cars come down pit road right now. That will put them probably pretty easily in a 2-stop window, I would think.
Looks like the only 4 drivers took tires there. Jonathan Parker, Nick Kapiak, Michael Morgan.
Yeah, Hunter Sr. and
Hunter Sr. Thank you.
I'm not sure if Braden Holt took tires. He was in his pit box for a minute taking damage repairs, so don't know if he actually took tires. He might have, just because of probably scuffed up those tires going through that spin. There is only 5 sets of tires here tonight. I personally would want to go at least 20 laps on my first set. I usually try to play my tire strategy to use 4 sets of tires in the race and have 1 left in the pits that I can put on for a late race restart. That's just my opinion. It's worked out for me a lot of situations. I also like to save a set of tires when I can. If there's a situation where I think I can get away with not taking them and maybe take the lumps, then that's what I'll usually do. So all that going to come into play, but our front row here, Pacey Wygett chose the outside lane for this restart. Jonathan Canfield going to be on the front row with him.
Saving tires, an extra set of tires worked really well for you in the past at Michigan.
I forgot about that's the one time it didn't work. Yeah, let's not talk about that one. That's one of the 20 shoulda, woulda, coulda races I have. So I'm sure I'll finish second again soon on JCTV.
Space car. Gonna come in to pit road. Green flag back out. I think Canfield got caught sleeping there. Canfield was on the front row, and he falls back. He's battling side by side with Josh Arnold for fourth.
Yeah, not a great start. Not a great start for that one car of Jonathan Canfield. Just did not get a good launch, and he was pulling forward before that caution, so maybe just he's still falling back though.
Oh! Michael Morgan hard into the wall.
Yeah, Dylan Chappelle may have been involved as well. Chappell might have been involved as well.
Sorry, I did that last week.
Yeah, he threw me off. Yeah, Michael Morgan just lost it coming off the corner, got loose, and then overcorrected, and Dylan Chappell nowhere to go. Pretty heavy contact for both cars. Neither one has a meatball flag, so suspension's probably intact on both of them. Both of them probably going to have a good bit of damage to repair here.
See a replay there of my blimp view. So Pacey Wygant, Jimmy Mensch, Josh Arnold, and others coming down pit road.
Yeah, and that's what I'm thinking. Maybe there was that consideration of the fuel window. Pacey Wygant taking fuel only. Canfield does appear to be taking tires, as do Minch and Josh Arnold.
So with gridding only being 60 seconds and drivers only having one pace lap, we never really did give our picks to win. So Brett, who are you watching out for tonight? Who do you think is going to win this race?
Might be some bias here just looking at the leaderboard and seeing him at the top of it, but I really do think Nathan Lehman, he looked really strong, especially on the longer runs in those dual races, and I think he's gonna surprise people tonight and get it done instead of Wygant or Parker.
And I think it is going to be a Wygant or a Parker, but I'm going to go with Pacey Wygant. He was so good last season, and being able to keep up with Jonathan Parker. So I think it's going to come down to a duel between the two. Pacey Wygant, though, race winner tonight. So the field is double file. We're going to get ready to go back racing. Nathan Lehman taking the top line. Cole Snyder on the front row. No choose cone this season, but leader still does have a choice what lane he would like to restart in. So that's why you have seen leader take the top line for both restarts now. And pace car is in, so we are going to go green. And a much better launch this time, both lanes. Nathan Lehman out clear front of the field. Chase McGuire trying to get clear of Cole Snyder. He is going to. Look at Giovanni Klein hanging on to the outside. Klein's going to get into fourth place between Meredith and Snyder. Hometown favorite, Nick Gapiak. Gonna make some moves. He is underneath Giovanni Klein. Zachary Meredith now underneath Klein. Oh, they're gonna be 3 wide. Klein, Meredith, and Hapiak. Klein actually clears. Jonathan Parker is going to get a twofer, getting past Meredith and Hapiak. Now he's underneath Klein, a little bit of contact.
And Parker and Hapiak, the two drivers who have taken 4 tires on one of those 2 cautions. So they are working their way through the field now, 3 wide with Zachary Meredith. And we're seeing that advantage of those 4 tires playing out right now. Although Nathan Lehman has actually kind of checked out from Chase McGuire out in front of this race.
Capiak trying to get clear of Giovanni Klein. That's in a little bit deeper. He's going to get clear. Meanwhile, Jonathan Parker struggling. He's got to tuck back in behind Zachary Meredith. Now Hapiak, P4. He is closing in on Chase McGuire, Cole Snyder. Hapiak's going to go to the outside to clear McGuire. Now trying the same for Snyder. Jonathan Parker boxed in. Capiak underneath Cole Snyder. Jonathan Parker is starting to reappear just in the mirror.
Yeah, Parker just kind of has gotten checked up now. Another thing to note, Josh Arnold, Braden Holt, Jonathan Canfield all on fresher tires. They've really not moved forward at all since this last restart. And I'm actually looking at them. Some of them might be trying to save a little bit of fuel right now. I'm not certain on that, but it seems odd to me, their lap times right now.
And Capiak was able to get past Cole Snyder. Giovanni Klein clips the wall. Cole Snyder going to look underneath Hapiak.
Yeah, they're battling Nathan Lehman, meanwhile, under pressure from Nick Hapiak. And he's going to be side by side for the race lead down the backstretch.
It's clear to me, Brett, that the high line is working for these drivers with a little bit older tires. As opposed to the newer tires. Now that Nick Hapiak has the outside of Nathan Lehman, I'm expecting Hapiak's going to get past Lehman here pretty quickly. See, is almost
He gets
clear.
on the back stretch, and Jonathan Parker goes with Hapiak, and that's good. That's what really hurts you on the bottom. If you have somebody who goes with you on the bottom, as Lehman got super tight there, had to feather it, and that's going to let Parker and it looks like Zachary Meredith get by him. He's going to drop back to the 4th position. Yeah, I agree that top line has come in now, and I think I mentioned earlier, but you see both lanes be viable throughout this race. Now that Hapiak's in clean air, you see he's moving back down to the bottom of the track. And maybe it's something we're seeing tonight where that bottom line is going to be more preferred on the newer tires, and then as they wear, you're going to want to move up the track. We'll have to see, but still very intriguing how many different lines we're seeing from these drivers and how that third lane is just kind of moving around here tonight.
So the fellow Michigander out front at Michigan. So we are almost a quarter of the way complete in this race. Hapiak leading Jonathan Parker, though. He's up to P2, and he is on a mission to catch up to Nick Hapiak. Fastest car on track that last lap was Jonathan Parker. Impressed, though, with Zachary Meredith. His speed, well, there he got loose. I was just going to say he was really keeping up with Jonathan Parker. Zachary Meredith, what a ride out of turn 2. Parker closes in right to the back bumper of Hapiak. Parker going to look low. He's side drafting all the way down to the bottom now. Looks like Parker just kind of bottomed out. Hapiak able to clear Parker. It's all single file, first 5 positions. Battle going on back here. Cole Snyder getting ahead of Chase McGuire. Hapiak just holding on to the position over Jonathan Parker. It's Parker right back up the back bumper of Nick Hapiak. Parker taking a little bit of a higher line. Helps Jonathan Parker on the straightaways. Running that higher line, he's going to pull to the inside. They will, once again, be side by side. Parker using the second lane. Hapiak all the way up there. Jonathan Parker trying not to get a side draft. He pulled all the way down to the apron on the front stretch. Side by side, entering turn 1. Parker just struggling down there, but he is still side by side. I thought for sure he was going to be behind Nick Hapiak, and he slides. He slides in front of Hapiak.
He's able to clear for that race lead, and he's going to lead this lap. Parker and Hapiak have started to kind of pull away from the field, and I think that is that tire difference that you're seeing. Josh Arnold, who's on fresher tires as well, has gone and worked his way all the way up to the 4th spot. Hunter Sr. and Braden Holt also moving into the picture on those fresh tires as well, up to 7th and 8th. And I think that tire difference is really coming into play right now.
And now we're seeing slide job crossover, slide job crossover.
By the way, speaking of slide job, tune in this week for, I believe, the qualifying for the iRacing.Funny 250 at Daytona on the Slide Job Racing League on Tuesday night.
Jonathan Parker now ahead of Capiak. Capiak all the way down on that bottom line.
It's really hard to generate the run to make a pass on that bottom lane. You just don't get quite the exit off the corner you need. But then with the draft, you kind of suck up by the end of the straightaway. Capiak does really seem to like that bottom lane right now.
Yeah, I'm surprised he's getting it to work. But he's going to be side by side with Jonathan Parker. You know, a little loose there.
Yeah, it's definitely. I definitely feel like neither lane is really has a huge advantage over the other.
Parker washing up. Capiak still trying to look underneath. Once again, side by side for that race lead. As these two continue to battle and slide. Oh, Zachary Meredith just caught the wall behind.
Yeah, that's going to let Josh Arnold on his fresh tires get up to the 3rd spot. And here comes Hunter Sr. in that tied number 20 car. He's been moving forward on those fresh tires, and he's going to be side by side with Zachary Meredith or Chase McGuire for the 5th position here in a second. Capiak's going to have another run, though, at Jonathan Parker.
Side by side, real tight on each other. The Capiak getting back in the draft. Anyway, I was going to say, these guys continue to battle. We're out there. Tires. Josh Arnold only a second behind.
And speaking of Josh Arnold, something I've learned racing with him, he is usually, I feel like, a driver who really comes alive on these longer runs. Tends to save do a good job managing his tires, and we'll see if that ends up being the case here. Right now, though, him, Parker, and Capiak all running pretty similar lap times, all separated by about a 1/10 of a second. Jonathan Parker actually fastest car on track that time around. Or actually, the fastest car on track was Jose Ruiz running back in the 14th position. And we got a caution on the speedway, and I believe it is one of our favorites, Pacey Wygant, possibly.
Indeed it is.
Oh, and Nathan Lehman was also involved, as was the 76 of Kenneth Chaney. And Wygant, an innocent bystander, goes for a big spin. Don't think he hit anything. Oh! Yeah, just barely kept it off the inside wall. Did a great job keeping it on the inside wall. Maybe a little bit of damage from that initial contact, but I think he will be fine. That wreck started with Kenneth Chaney getting loose off of turn 2. What was that? I'm trying to figure out if he got loose or just had net code. So Lehman tried to slide Chaney. Chaney reacted by going up track a little bit. Actually, somebody got loose in front of him. Then, yeah, Chaney got loose. Maybe a little bit net code between him and Lehman goes down and clips Wygant. And that brings out the caution here. And I think everybody's going to be coming down pit road here for 4 tires and a full tank of fuel.
Yeah, pit road busy. Everybody down this time. Nobody staying out.
Jonathan Parker going to win the race off pit road, followed by Nicholas Hapiak, Zachary Meredith, Cole Snyder, Hunter Sr., and Josh Arnold. I might want to take a look at Josh Arnold's pit stop. He lost 2 seconds on. He had a pit lanes time of almost 2 seconds longer than a couple of the other drivers and lost 3 positions on pit road there. I'm wondering maybe he overshot his pit box. Yeah, and that is the case. Josh Arnold overshot his pit box slightly, had to reverse it a little bit to start getting those tires. And that's what cost him several spots here on pit road. Extended service on pit road for Michael Morgan, Zachary Meredith, Kenneth Cheney, and Giovanni Klein. I know we saw Zachary Meredith catch the wall. Morgan was in all that earlier incident. Cheney had pretty heavy wall contact as part of that incident. I'm not sure if anything happened to Klein, but I've got to think he probably tagged the wall at some point.
So lights on the pace car are off. Drivers go double file. Jonathan Parker taking the inside line. So that'll put Nick Kapiak on the outside. Chase McGuire, Cole Snyder make up row 2. Hunter Sr. and Josh Arnold make up row 3.
And a shout out to Hunter Sr. running up in the 5th position right now. Didn't see a huge amount of him in the duels, really was nowhere to be seen in it. But tonight, that Tide NAOR 20 car really has looked strong and has got himself up inside the top 5 as we get ready to go green here with 60 laps to go.
So we'll be 61 laps left in the race. And inside the restart zone, green flag waving. Once again, we are underway here at Michigan.
A good restart for Jonathan Parker. Hapiak also gets a pretty good launch. As Meredith and Snyder are going to battle side by side, or sorry, McGuire and Snyder are going to battle side by side for the 3rd position.
I think Hapiak did a great job on that restart, but we are looking at the side-by-side battle between McGuire and Snyder. Snyder clear of Chase McGuire. So he is in 3rd as he looks on to this battle. It did not stop because of a caution as Nick Kapiak looks underneath Jonathan Parker. They will be side by side down the back straightaway. Nick Kapiak a little tight.
Hapiak, yeah, he pushed up a little bit there. And he had to get out of the throttle. That lets Jonathan Parker retain the race lead.
Kapiak trying to get the momentum back. to get underneath Jonathan Parker. Garling between the two. Struggling to close the gap quickly, but he is closing the gap.
Yeah, he's pulling up on him on the straightaways. The key for him right now is just getting that clean air to the nose. And I think that's one of the reasons you're seeing him go to the bottom almost every time. And what's interesting to me is seeing that actually absolute bottom here at Michigan is working.
Oh, trouble. I can't tell who it is. It was
I believe
seven.
that's
John Phillips.
John W. Phillips. They're still all rolling. He had a big moment, though, off of turn 2. Went for a big slide, was able to get it gathered up and keep going, but drops back to the 17th position.
A save.
Meanwhile, Nick Hapiak got by Jonathan Parker at the line that time and led that lap, and he's going to drive to the bottom in 1 and 2, and he's going to clear Jonathan Parker, new leader, the 6 of Nick Hapiak. Although I don't think Jonathan Parker is going to be done. That battle for the lead still raging on between those two.
And I think this battle will just continue as long as these two are up front. Jonathan Parker biding his time right now. Gapiak, I think he's doing some mirror driving, following where Jonathan Parker is going. And let me tell you, I mean, it's kind of hard as the lead car to do that, but they ran the same line. Parker closing back in, though. Parker goes up. Hapiak slides up as well. Laps to go here in Michigan. 110 miles still of racing. And though it's Nick Hapiak, Jonathan Parker that has checked away just a little bit. It's a great battle going on behind them with a bunch of cars. Snyder, McGuire, Arnold, Blackwell, Beach. Holt and Lehman are all right there as well. What I love about this track is all the different lines drivers can run. McGuire got loose. Blackwell was struggling through the corner as well. But McGuire sliding. Beach up to 5th.
Yeah, and I still am wondering, we didn't really see it that last run, and I'm not seeing it here either. Jonathan Parker actually shoving Nick Hapiak down the backstretch that time, but I keep thinking those two are going to burn off their tires, but so far we have not really seen that happening. Is Jonathan Parker going to maybe look to the outside of Nicholas Hapiak down the front stretch here?
I think it's going to happen. It's just a matter of time as everybody else kind of biding their time. Cole Snyder, Josh Arnold, Hunter Beach.
Yeah, and from that last pit stop, which occurred on about lap 38, we are certainly going to have at least one more pit stop, possibly two. I would guess, based on my past races I've run at Michigan, that it will be a one-stop race from there, but obviously don't have any guarantee on that. this time by the way, the fastest lap on track that time was Pacey Wygant, who has worked his way back up to the 15th position. He's still, though, mired further back in the field as at the same time, Cole Snyder starting to close in on our front two runners as Jonathan Parker going to look to the inside of Nicholas Hapiak, looking to retake the lead.
And he is clear, going to try to slide up in front of Hapiak. He does. Hapiak not going to try the crossover. He had an opportunity to do so, staying right here in the draft of Jonathan Parker. And now, look who's right. Of course, he's been in third this whole time, but look who is right there closing in to this battle. It's Cole Snyder.
Yeah, and not farther back are Josh Arnold, Hunter Peach, and Braden Holt. So kind of 6 cars right now, all in this. Pacey Wygant, once again, though, his fastest car on track last time by. He, though, is still fairly decently back of our race leaders, but he's been starting to move forward. Assistant to recover from that earlier spin. And meanwhile, back and forth, Josh Arnold ripping the top of the track along with Hunter Peach. Oh, bit of a wobble from Nick Hapiak, and Arnold off the top is has a big run down the straightaway up towards Cole Snyder. Now 5 cars. Peach dives it hard to the bottom. Arnold goes all the way to the wall.
Bye.
What a move by Hunter Peach. Got by Josh Arnold and Cole Snyder easily, and got side by side with second. He was 5th entering turn 3.
Hunter Peach is so fun to watch drive. He is such a great race car driver.
And Hapiak looking to get to the outside of Parker.
Hunter Peach.
They almost touched.
Makes aggressive moves like that, but yeah. Hapiak trying to get the lead back. Struggling a little bit on that high line.
Yeah, Parker able to slide Hapiak. They think they both touched the wall there. Hunter Peach is going to have a run on both of them down the front stretch. And he's going to look to the bottom and maybe look for the race lead.
He's going to take it. He goes all the way down to that bottom.
Just not quite able to get it. Parker able to get back to the throttle. Peach going to slot back in line in that 3rd position. And we got a caution on the track. And once again, it is Pacey Wygant, I believe.
Hunter Sr. as well. Oh, Senior.
Yeah, he just got loose, and Pacey Wygant, 2nd time in a row, was just running that bottom on the exit of turn 2 and just had somebody get loose above him. Not the day our defending series runner-up wanted here to start his season. And once again, I'd expect pit road to be a busy, busy place, although I will say, if you take tires on this pit stop, you will have only 1 set remaining in the pits if you took tires on one of those first 2 cautions, which I know Jonathan Parker and Nick Hapiak did.
And I'm telling you, last couple cautions have come out just in the, I think, most interesting time where these tires are starting to really wear. I was excited to see if Peach was going to be able to get around Hapiak and Parker.
Yeah, unfortunately, we've kind of gotten cautions right on that cusp of where the tires really are going to start to fall off. But yeah, once again, Piers Tire Field coming down pit road. Except for Michael Morgan, who will stay out. I believe he is the lucky dog. He had went a lap down. And actually, I believe he might have been on pit road when that caution came out. Jonathan Parker going to win the race off pit road, followed by Happy Peach, Holt, Cole Snyder, and Josh Arnold. Cole Snyder losing 2 spots there on pit road. And actually, I do believe the 60 Michael Morgan will be a waiver round. I believe he was on pit road when the caution came out, so was not eligible for the lucky dog. Kind of been a tale of two races for our 2 JuicySpydr cars. 6 Nick Happyack been up front almost all race long. That 60 car Bo been at the back of the field. Really not a great run going for Michael Morgan. He's got a good bit of damage to the right front of that car. I don't know when he got that, but unfortunately it seems to be affecting the speed on that 60 car. Well, Josh, once again, going to reset with that front row, Jonathan Parker and Nicholas Happyack. Another guy who's kind of pulled back up into the picture, Nathan Lehman, has worked his way all the way back up to the 7th position.
Yeah, these guys, these first 2, Parker and Happyack, I'm very surprised with just the speed that the 2 have had and continuing to battle with each other. Now you've got Hunter Peach in 3rd, and you know, he smells the lead. He is going to want to go out and take it. Braden Holt there as well, and Cole Snyder. Cole, he's an aggressive driver as well, and I think he's going to want to go up there, get the lead, as green flag is coming back out. Great restart. Happyack, he pulls down to the bottom.
He's not going to quite be able to get there, though, right now.
Braden Holt clears in front of Hunter Peach. But our eye is still going to be on these top 2s. Nick Happyack underneath that 48, Jonathan Parker.
Throughout, Parker prefers to run further up the track than Happyack. Happyack really does like to run on that bottom lane.
Slide job crossover.
And look who's else in the picture, Braden Holt. He's right there with those 2.
And Jonathan Parker might lose another one here with... Just restarted it. I don't know if it's working or not. And I think we're back.
And we're back. It's working. We're live.
Okay.
I just checked the feed.
Okay. Well, I think everybody in the comment section, as well as myself, can agree that we will say, bless you, Brett. So I don't know what just happened. I'm glad I noticed that there was some issue. I apologize. I don't know. Anyway, we're back under caution for an accident that just happened with Cole Snyder and Brett. You'll have to remind me because at this point is when I was figuring out that there was an issue.
It was Cole Snyder and Kenneth Cheney. Kenneth Cheney got loose coming off of turn 2. Multiple cars actually got loose. Several near wrecks, and then further back in the field, Snyder and Cheney got together. Both went spinning heavy contact to the inside wall for the 76 of Kenneth Cheney. John W. Phillips, still a race leader. He chooses the outside lane this time. He had taken fuel only on that caution. Starting second with Jonathan Parker. I believe he's on his last set of tires, though. Hunter Peach and Pacey Wygant, the next row. Pacey Wygant worked his way all the way back up to the 3rd spot now, back in the contention for this race. I don't know if we were live, but Nick Hapiak sped on pit road under that previous caution, just in case that was missed. Fortunate for him, he's now back in the 21st position. He's going to have to really work to get back into the front, and I believe he is out of tire sets as well. I don't have these tire set numbers in front of me. I have a but I have, if I've been paying attention to this race correctly, there's several drivers who just put on their last set of tires under that previous caution.
So, pace car is in. We're going to go green with 22 laps to go. Still lots of racing. As the green flag is waving, we're back underway here. What a restart. The top 3 rows.
Yeah, John Phillips initially looked like he got a really strong start, but he's fading back down the straightaway. Jonathan Parker gets to the gears better. And here comes Pacey Wygant and Braden Holt. 3 wide for second off of turn 2. Wygant going to clear Holt. And here comes Hunter Peach as well. And another driver we have not seen all race long. John Osborne worked his way up into the 6th position. Jonathan Parker down to the apron, trying to break that draft down the front stretch. Hunter Peach going to clear Pacey Wygant for the 2nd position.
Now Hunter Peach, you mentioned clear for the 2nd position. He's going to look to try to catch Jonathan Parker. But you know, Parker is a man on a mission right now. He wants to pull away. He sees Pacey Wygant in the 3rd position, but never count out Hunter Peach.
And another thing, John W. Phillips done a pretty good job holding on those older tires. He's only dropped back to 6th spot. If he can stay up towards the front and we get a caution in about 5 laps, he's going to be in really good shape coming to pit road, putting on his last set of tires.
Hunter Peach a little bit.
Big wreck in the back! Nathan Lehman, Michael Morgan among those involved. Big calamity on the exit of turn 2.
Justin Quimby.
There was 3 wide, and Nathan Lehman, once again, an innocent bystander on the bottom of the track when somebody got loose above him. The 3rd time today, and this time, heavy contact up the track into Noah Blackwell and the outside retaining wall. Also, it looks like we had another couple cars involved. Mike Campbell with heavy damage. Michael Morgan, heavy contact. I'm not sure what happened to Josh Arnold. I don't know how he got to the back. He was behind all that. Pretty heavy contact for Jimmy Minch. Yeah, Justin Quimby, big damage on that number 36. Required repairs popping up for the 36 of Justin Quimby, 60 of Michael Morgan, and the 94 of Jimmy Minch. Unfortunately, a lot of cars caught up in that, and possibly the days ended. I believe the 36 of Justin Quimby is going to be done for the day. Most likely will be our 24th place finisher. Meanwhile, John W. Phillips and Donnie Kite and Jimmy Minch all on pit road. Jimmy Minch definitely taking damage. John W. Phillips probably going to put on that set of tires he has. Yeah, that's going to be all coming down pit road here. Jonathan Parker, still your race leader, followed by Hunter Peach, Pacey Wygant, Braden Holt, Zachary Meredith, John Osborne, Jose Ruiz, Giovanni Klein, Dylan Chappell, and Noah Blackwell, your top 10. Nick Hapiak worked his way back up to the 11th position, but running out of time. This restart will come with about 15 laps remaining in tonight's race. Still, though, the battle. So Justin Quimby eliminated. I'm going to go back and see if we can figure out what happened to Josh Arnold before all that happened. He had dropped all the way back behind everybody. He actually came down and just put on his last set of tires during this caution. That maybe Josh Arnold had issues on the previous caution when we were dealing with our technical issues. Yeah, he had rolled back down pit road on the previous caution, so. Jonathan Parker going to choose the inside lane. Hunter Peach to his outside. And we'll have to see. I think any of those drivers in the top four, they've probably been our four strongest cars. Them and Nicholas Hapiak, don't want to leave him out. He's just, unfortunately, had that pit road speeding penalty, put him towards the rear of the field. But those five probably been your five strongest cars all race long. Pacey Wygant's done a great job recovering from 2 spins earlier in this race. Neither one were his fault. Both times had cars to his outside to get loose and get into him, and he went around. But let's see what happens here. We're going to have 16 laps remaining when we go back green, and the intensity is definitely started to heat up. We're seeing a lot more aggressive moves going on right now. That's what's led to these last 2 cautions.
Yeah, the intensity is high. This is, of course, the season opener for the NAOR series, and these drivers, they want to start the season off on the right foot. They want to take a win and add their name to win list for season openers. 16 laps to go. Space car pulls in. Jonathan Parker, Hunter Peach make up the front row. Inside the restart zone, green flag back in the air. Jonathan Parker with a great restart.
He got a great restart, but what that might not be ideal for him is that let Pacey Wygant. I think Pacey Wygant's going to be able to clear Hunter Peach here in turns 1 and 2. Although, maybe not. Peach doing a good job, but Peach going to drop back, and Pacey Wygant clear up the 2nd position. And some contact there. It looks like maybe Meredith and Osborne got together for 5th. Peach and Holt going to be side by side for 3rd.
Hunter Peach, fast driver, holding on to that outside.
Jonathan Parker trying to break the draft on Pacey Wygant down the front stretch. Wygant falling in his tire crack. And I think I've mentioned this before. I am not a big fan of trying to break the draft at tracks like this. I just think you kill your speed doing it, and usually the guy behind still can follow you. Maybe on the last lap or 2-3 to go I might, but with 15 to go I wouldn't be doing it yet. Just an update from that last caution. Jimmy Minch, Michael Morgan, and Justin Quimby all of them currently sitting on pit road. So 21 cars now running on the lead lap in this race.
Pacey Wygent closing in on Jonathan Parker. Wygent, the fastest car on track right now. 14 laps to go. He's got the time. Can he make the move happen?
The other one to look at, Nick Hapiak, after that pit road speeding penalty, he is side by side with Zachary Meredith, looking for that 5th position. And maybe he might still have something to say in this race.
Hapiak currently behind Zachary Meredith. But Hapiak, of course, he's been fast all race long. Might be too little too late unless he can catch some kind of break, but Hapiak's done such a great job.
Just seems pretty content staying there right now. I'm sure if he sees an opportunity, he will go for the move, but he's just biding his time. He feints low, still going to follow Jonathan Parker. Oh, and he's going to dive it. He's going to look for the lead here in the turn 1 and 2.
Side by side for the race lead. They lean on each other a little bit. Side draft. Pacey Wygent just getting to the corner.
Here comes. That's going to give a big run to Hunter Peach.
Hunter Peach. This is what I'm talking about. The aggressive moves. They make contact.
Oh, contact. They all keep it together.
Hunter Peach trying to take the lead. They are 3 wide. Braden Holt on the bottom. Jonathan Parker up top.
Yeah, Peach, Wygent, and Parker all got together there in 3 and 4, and that let Braden Holt get a huge run. They're going to still be 3 wide for the race lead.
And here comes Nick Hapiak. We were just talking about him. I said I think it might be too little too late. Oh, Braden Holt, I think, got some netcode contact. But Nick Hapiak right there, battling for 3rd right now, side by side with Holt. Jonathan Parker pulls to the inside of Hunter Peach. As they are going to be side by side for the lead, coming at 10 laps to go.
Yeah, Holt got a really good exit from the corner. He pulls up on Parker, but just has nowhere to go with it. Still side by side for the race lead, Peach and Parker.
Hunter Peach.
And Hapiak putting his car up higher than everybody else right now. We saw that work for Josh Arnold a little bit earlier, but then he ran into those issues, got loose.
Nick Hapiak is going to clear Jonathan Parker. So now it's Hapiak and Peach.
Caution
is out. It is Hunter Sr. stopped on the backstretch.
Yeah, Hunter Sr. was running back in the 15th position. I don't know if there's some contact there. I'm going to have to look at another angle for that.
Oh, man.
That looked like some bad netcode possibly between him and the 76. Oh, no. Canfield drifted up, and Hunter Sr. may have had a little bit of a reaction to that. Got on the side of Donnie Kite. Canfield, pretty heavy contact with the outside retaining wall. Oh, and somebody else got in the Senior when he was spinning, maybe. Chase Meredith. Or Chase McGuire, I mean. Eventually I won't mix up Chase McGuire and Zachary Meredith. I don't know why I do. And unfortunately for Jonathan Canfield, that right front tire suspension appears to have right front suspension damage, being shown the meatball flag. That means required repairs. He'll have to come to pit road to fix that. That might spell the end of his night. If so, he will join Jimmy Minch, Michael Morgan, and Justin Quimby on pit road taking repairs. And coming down pit road right now, I think everybody who's got a set of tires left in the pits is coming down pit road right now. Pacey Wygent, Zachary Meredith, Cole Snyder, John Osborne, Dylan Chappell, Canfield, Kite, and a bunch of others.
This is the JuicySpydr Studios 200. And well, big shout out to everything that JuicySpydr Studios does for JCTV. One of the new cool things is that replay screen that you see, the motion graphics. I know Dawson has used a motion graphic JCTV replay screen that JuicySpydr Studios has made before. This one is different than what we've had before. So big shout out to JuicySpydr Studios and for all that they do and continue to do for JCTV. And they also do stuff for personal stuff as well. They have their own YouTube channel where they post gaming content, and they have a TikTok account. They do a lot with iRacing, YouTube Shorts, and others that I probably am not remembering right now.
And Josh, so they're going to come to take the one to go this time. Our top 8 drivers stayed out. That's Hunter Peach, Nick Hapiak, Jonathan Parker, Braden Holt, Jose Ruiz, Giovanni Klein, Josh Arnold, and John Phillips. Of those drivers, the top 6 all pitted 20 laps ago. We did have 2 quick cautions right after that, so that's a lot of that. But Arnold and Phillips pitted 10 laps ago, and then the rest of the field just down pit road. Pacey Wygen, the first of those cars, along with Zachary Meredith, running 9th and 10th. So really should see how this plays out. Wygen going to be on the fresher tires, but not significantly fresher. He's going to have to hustle as we're going to go green here with only 6 laps remaining. And just an update, Jonathan Canfield had those required repairs. He was able to get them done and stay on the lead lap. So his day not quite over yet. And this has the potential to possibly be our last restart. So it's time. All these drivers up front just got to execute. And how about Nick Hapiak? That speeding penalty 20 laps ago. Works his way back up to the field. Had a little bit of luck, a lot of contact, and beat and banging during those 3 wide battles for the lead. But he's going to have a chance restarting on the front row here with 6 to go.
Last season, there were no green-white checkers. It was just if a caution came out within 5 to go, that was it. This season, we do have green-white checkers, so this could be the last restart. We could have some more. Inside the restart zone, green flag back in the air. Hunter Peach with a great restart.
Yeah, good launch for that 45 machine. But Hapiak fighting back on the outside. He got through the gears maybe a little bit better than Peach.
Side by side, it's Hapiak and Peach. Hapiak, I think, has the advantage being on the high line. We know Peach.
Yeah, Peach
gonna
drive it in super hard. And look at Jonathan Parker on the bottom.
Jonathan Parker side by side.
Oh! A little bit caught there. Parker had a great run on the bottom there. Here comes Braden Holt. And how about Jose Ruiz? Haven't seen him all day today, but he's up there in this lead battle. Pacey Wygen now has worked his way back up to 7th on the fresh tires.
Side by side for second. Make that third.
Oh, Wygen got big loose off the corner. He's going to actually lose a spot there.
Jonathan Parker struggling. He's trying to get back up. Battle for second. A little bit of side-by-side contact. Hapiak and Parker. Hapiak going to pull down in front of Parker now. Hapiak trying to figure out what line to block. Meanwhile, Hunter Peach just kind of pulling away right now. 4 to go here in Michigan.
Yeah, Peach wants to see that in his rearview mirror. Jonathan Parker kind of trapped on the bottom, fighting back. He's got to deal with Braden Holt and Jose Ruiz. Oh, somebody in the fence. That was Phillips. He kept it straight, still under green.
Nick Hapiak is closing in on Hunter Peach. Braden Holt side by side with Hapiak. Holt is on the bottom.
That was really strong from Holt on the bottom. Gets a great run. They're side by side. Peach still wants to see that in his rearview mirror, but both of them closing up on Peach down the front straightaway. 3 laps remaining.
Nick Capiak goes really high in the corner, trying to get clean air on that nose. Oh, Braden Holt sideways. He saves it.
And Jose Ruiz has moved to the third. Oh, big block from Parker on Pacey Wygant. Parker almost went on the Carl Felber line trying to throw that block.
Oh, wrecking!
Wreck.
Caution!
Peach was the leader when the caution came out. We will have a green-white checkered. And, I mean, I can't say I'm surprised we got a caution there. There was a lot of people driving really hard under a blanket. Multiple cars involved in that incident on the front straightaway.
Cole Snyder, Josh Arnold, Kenneth Cheney, Zachary Meredith.
John Osborne, Braden Holt. That all started with Braden Holt. Holt had that moment a lap or so ago and had dropped back. He was side by side with John Osborne, and Osborne looks like he tried to come down the track a little bit to get under the 84 of Giovanni Klein, and unfortunately there's just no space there. Holt and Osborne together, they go spinning. Osborne might be fine. Nah, he actually hit the outside wall pretty hard. Oh, big kind of then with Cody Blackwell. Noah Blackwell, sorry. Nobody has a meatball flag out of that somehow. But I think we're going to see multiple cars whose days are just about over after that incident. As you see a lot of cars rolling down pit road for damage repair here. So to reset the top 10 drivers 11 drivers not pitting. Everybody outside of that, I believe, was caught up in that incident and has some damage to fix. Those 11 drivers, though, staying on track. Hunter Peach, Nick Hapiak, Jonathan Parker, Jose Ruiz. He was actually up in that battle. We hadn't really seen him all day, but he was in there with a shout there. I think he might have a chance here. Giovanni Klein, Pacey Wygant only was able to work his way up to 6th. He's going to have to really go on this green-white checkered. Cole Snyder in 7th, Zachary Meredith 8th, Dylan Chappell 9th, Chase McGuire rounding out your top 10, and then Mike Campbell in the 11th position, the last of our cars to not come down pit road right here. John W. Phillips actually may have just come down pit road for tires. I don't know if he was involved in that incident. Doesn't look like he took damage repair. He'll be in 12th. And an EOL penalty has been given to the number 36 of Justin Quimby. Not sure what that's for. He's
11
on the track.
Down.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the penalty was for, but who knows?
So lights on the pace car are going to go off this time by, I assume. And it looks like Peach going to take the top line. Last time Peach took the bottom, and Nick Hapiak had a great run. I think Peach learned from that last restart. And though we know Nick Hapiak loves the bottom line, I think Hunter Peach might be able to hold him off a little bit.
Yeah, Hapiak liked the bottom line earlier in this race, but the last couple of times he's been really starting to run that top a lot more. Has found a lot of success working his way back up through the field, up on the tie line. And I just don't think the bottom's there as much as it was early in this race. We'll have to see what happens. It's going to be the green-white checkered. We will have 3 attempts at the green-white checker to finish. If we can't if they make it to the white flag, that will make the race official. Probably, unless iRacing is dumb, which does happen from time to time.
Yeah, if the leader takes the white, we will not have a yellow. Unless if it is one of those, there shouldn't be, but there has been times where there's been a glitch. But if we get a yellow before the white flag is out, we will have an attempt at a restart. There's a pace car coming down pit road. What should be 2 laps to go here in the JuicySpydr Studios 200. Green flag is out. And Hunter Peach wasting no time. He is already clear of Nick Kapiak. Peach going to pull down.
Casey Wygen also got a good restart. Kapiak drives it in super deep, though. And caution is out. And that's did not work out for Hunter Peach. Dylan Chappell. Yeah, Cole Snyder looked like he's having some issues with his car. He was wiggling around a lot and actually just slid up the track into the 99 of Dylan Chappell. Spun him around. Oh, and big contact for the 54 of Braden Holt. Nowhere for him to go. And Hunter Sr. also heavily involved. 3 cars, all of heavy damage out of that. Unfortunately, that might be the end of the day for some of them. By the way, Noah Blackwell and Kenneth Cheney were involved in that last wreck. Here's their days were ended. They're currently running in the 20 and 21st, although Justin Quimby and Michael Morgan might have a chance of passing them. Both of them have taken their damage repair and have exited the pits. Jimmy Minch appears will be our last place finisher here. He's still sitting on pit road after being involved in an earlier incident. And Josh, with this caution real quick, I don't know if you want to mention, but just a reminder, tomorrow night here on JCTV, we will have the In the Pits news, the AMSOIL Truck Series. Still getting used to that. At the Las Vegas Motor Speedway at 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock Eastern time. I believe broadcast will start at 7:45 Eastern time.
That is correct. And I believe the race name is going to be the Grace the Cat 200 Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Just a big shout out to Grace the Cat for sponsoring the race.
Meow.
And I'm just going to ignore the fact that Brett just meowed at me.
You're welcome. You mentioned a cat. I must meow. These are the rules. So yeah, Nick Kapiak got really played out well at the time of that caution. He drove it in deep on the bottom. I think Peach might have had a great chance of getting back on the backstretch, but the timing of the caution means Nick Kapiak retains the race lead. Rest of our top 10 right now: Kapiak, Peach, Parker, Ruiz, Wygant, Meredith, Klein, McGuire, Phillips, and Lehman. John Phillips, by the way, he took fresh tires on the previous caution, so he is actually on even fresher tires than Wygant. He's worked his way up to 9th. Wygant on fresher tires than our top 4. And another thing to look for, I think everybody's going to be good on fuel, but it has been 31 laps since Kapiak, Peach, Parker, Ruiz, and Klein have pitted. And off chance they could be, especially if we get one more green light checker, that they could be a little bit tight on fuel.
So
Kapiak.
Yeah, Kapiak taking the bottom. Hunter Peach will be on the outside. So reminiscent of last restart, except for the fact that it's going to be Nick Kapiak as a control car instead of Hunter Peach.
If I were Kapiak, I would have chosen the top just because of who's behind you. I think you have a better chance of bringing Parker and Wygant into the race restarting on the bottom, as they're going to get the launch with you. Those two drivers probably been our 2 strongest cars in addition to Kapiak all day today. Peach also has been up there, but Parker and Wygant, two guys who you really don't, if you can avoid it, you don't want them in this fight because they are pretty good at getting the job done here and here and elsewhere. As pace car going to get ready to pull off.
And what could be the final restart. I feel like deja vu. 2 laps to go as the pace car pulling in to the safety of pit road. Nick Kapiak, Hunter Peach. Inside the restart zone. Stack up on the bottom. Green flag back out.
Yeah, Peach just did not get going. Parker going to clear him for the second spot. And then once again, it's going to be Hapiak versus Parker up front, out in front of this race.
And look at Pacey Wygant. They're
Parker to the inside.
Side by side for the race lead, as you mentioned, Parker. He is probably going to drive it in deep here. He is. Look at Pacey Wygant underneath Nick Hapiak. This is going to stop Hapiak from trying a crossover move. White flag is waving. Pacey Wygant right there. He's going to pull to the inside of Jonathan Parker. Contact between Wygant and Parker. Nick Kapiak right there to capitalize if he can. Wygant on the bottom. Still side by side for the race lead between Wygant and Parker. I think it's going to be a matter of who gets into turn 3 the best. Pacey Wygant. He's trying. Parker slides up. Checkered flag is waving. Pacey Wygant clear up. Jonathan Parker pulls to the inside. Drag race to the line, but it's not going to be enough. Pacey Wygant wins at Michigan. And a big wreck behind him.
Wygant had just enough. I think Parker just got a little bit tight in turns 3 and 4. Had the lift out of the throttle. Nick Hapiak and Jose Ruiz actually got together for that wreck. They were battling for the 4th spot. How about John Phillips? He comes home 4th with that decision to put on save a set of tires and take it on that lap before the green and white checkers. And Nathan Lehman able to recover for a nice top 5 here today.
Well, my pick to win won.
It definitely came a lot today. 2 spins in this race. Had to come from the rear to get it done, but he was able to. A lot of drivers today recovered from the wheel. Both Pacey Wygant and Nick Hapiak both at the end of that race up there battling for the win after early troubles. And that decision to come down pit road with on lap 90 ends up being the winning ticket for the number 00 of Pacey Wygant.
I've seen a lot of incredible races where you think a driver is down and out, he's not going to win, and somehow, some way, they come back to win. I think we both kind of wrote Pacey off, but it is him that is parked in victory lane. So let's take a look at the unofficial results. Pacey Wygant, of course, wins the race. Jonathan Parker, P2. Hunter Peach brings home 3rd. John W. Phillips, you mentioned, great strategy call to get him 4th. Nathan Lehman, 5th. Chase McGuire finishes 6th. John Osborne, 7th. Mike Campbell, 8th. Donnie Kite, 9th. And Nick Kapiak finishes in 10th.
Yeah, rounding out the rest of our lead lap finishers, Josh Arnold comes home 11th, Zachary Meredith 12th, Cole Snyder comes home 13th. Hunter Sr. 14th. Jose Ruiz was up there at the end, gets caught up in that last lap wreck. He comes home in the 15th position. Giovanni Klein 16th. Jonathan Canfield 17th, and Braden Holt, our last lead lap finisher, in 18th. Then we have our guys who were caught up in wrecks. Dylan Chappell 19th, 5 laps down. Kenneth Cheney 20th, and Noah Buckle 21st, 9 laps down. Both were eliminated in that wreck that brought out our first green-white checkered. Justin Quimby and Michael Morgan both finished the race. Quimby 22nd, 10 laps down. Morgan 23rd, 11 laps down. And then Jimmy Minch rounds out the field, getting eliminated. He finishes 24 laps off the pace. And Josh, I believe you might be catching up with our third-place finisher soon here.
And yes, I have. Hunter Peach, third-place finish. You had a great run tonight. You were up the lead, but the second to last restart, did it get you off guard a little bit?
No. Just so many yellows, but I got to think the opportunity we were there in the end. Honestly, it felt kind of nice to have a good, clean race.
Yeah, you had a great showing. Still finishing in third, so podium position. It's not the win, but it's got to be a great way to start the season off.
It's a great way. Came into this race and I felt pretty comfortable where the speed was, and went out there after the duel, learned a lot from that, and then took it to here. And I was like, we could at least stay top 7 track position. That's what we did, and put myself up there in position. I was hoping that one yellow didn't happen. I think it was around 40 to go, where it was kind of like it was close on fuel. I was saving about a lap and a half. I felt like we had the fuel in it to stretch it to the end. Then the yellow kind of ruined that strategy, so it became just just straight dog fight, and just had to put your big pants on, just go for it. I did a couple of those moves tonight, but it is what it is. Move on to next week. I believe Chicagoland, pretty good track.
All right, well, sponsor shout outs. Who gets it done for that 45 and shading?
Obviously, you and Adam Kuhn, all y'all do at Fastlane. Good for y'all, and I'm always supporting y'all every step of the way. And 213 Simware, as well as not really close with them, but I got to shout out Di9 Designs for being around this league and what y'all do on the broadcast. And got to shout out my good buddy in the server, for spotting me tonight. He did an excellent job keeping me at least cool, not letting me get too mad for the moves, and kind of just kept me calm, cool, collected, and yeah.
All right. Congrats on a third-place finish, and we'll see you next week.
Yep, thank you. Hopefully I see you soon again. It's been quite a while.
For sure. Hunter Peach, third-place finisher tonight. And Brett, I'm sure you've got a fun one.
Yep, I'm here with Jonathan Parker. Always good to talk to Jonathan post-race. Jonathan, looked like you had a shot there on the last lap. What more did you need to get it done here tonight?
Fresher tires. Like, he had just a little fresher tires, and if I could go back and do it, I'd probably take the bottom in 1 and 2, defend low, make him go on the outside of me. But I was afraid that he was just going to be able to keep it dang near full throttle on the outside. We went through so many heat cycles on my tires, and it's just, he did a really good job going in 3 and 4. I thought I could gas it up, but I was going to plow it off. I gassed up any earlier than I did, so I gave it all I could, and Pacey did one great job passing me there. It's basically a reverse of the duel. I'm on the receiving end this time.
So you know how I like to talk about strategies here. What were you thinking taking tires on the first caution of the race on like lap 10, I think it was?
That Michigan usually goes green. I mean, it's a coin flip. That's the way these tire sets are. I couldn't tell you what's right. What I would tell you in that situation, if I was your crew chief, is give me a crystal ball. I'll tell you if I'm right. Just put me in the DeLorean. But yeah, that's a part of it. But I still, even if we got 1 or 2 less cautions, I think I would have been okay. Me, Nick, or Hunter probably would have been okay. But it's just probably won too many heat cycles and he got through too many cars. So
Yeah, he was kind of getting stuck in traffic a couple restarts. Then he finally kind of got in a spot. That last restart, the outside line just didn't go and let him kind of get free. But still, a good start to the season. Win your duel, finish second here. That gets a surprise. You and Pacey Wygent once again top of the standings after week 1. But how are you going to try to keep momentum from this race, carry it forward as we continue to see get away next week going to Chicagoland? I
guess worth the draft better because I had some weird moments where I either let people by or I was stuck on the bottom and just in a rut. It's so tough. It's tough with these cars because like I was rolling the bottom very good there. It's just it didn't matter because I didn't have anyone drafting with me and I was on the bottom. That's usually how Michigan goes though. I think Chicago will be a little different, but yeah, I still got to work the draft better. And I just I did my tire conservation thing pretty well. Usually I was able to cut through the corners better, even on the long run. So it's just I gotta keep doing what I normally do, and I'll get in victory lane eventually.
And then on that 48, anybody you'd like to thank, shout out, whatever, who gets it done for you?
I like to thank you guys up here. I know how tough it actually is. It's really tough commentating the AMSOIL Truck Series. It's tough to be up here and know what to talk about, where to look. It's really tough, and you guys do a really good job. I'd like to thank Josh and Nick and for letting me do this, let all of us do this, and put on a good show. And I'd like to thank Hunter and Pacey for keeping it clean there. We did a very good job. Hunter's crazy with his 3 wide moves, but yeah, we made him work. There was one where it probably didn't look that big on the broadcast when he went 3 wide. It was probably like 80, 89. Or I got really loose.
It looked big. It looked big. Trust me.
It didn't look that big to me when I looked back at it. I was like, dude, I thought I was going to be sideways. Just with these cars, a big moment doesn't look that big. But yeah, it was a big moment.
There was a lot of big moments when y'all were battling there.
Yeah, that's true. One more thing, I'd like to thank JBM, Jared Wilson, and Christian Pacheco. Those guys are awesome.
Well, I have to say Christian Pacheco sucks.
Most people, but it's okay.
And last but not least, you mentioned the AMSOIL Truck Series tomorrow night. Since now, I guess when I interview in this, I'm going to have to ask you this every time. Any advice you got for me tomorrow night?
Gosh, that's Las Vegas. I mean, that's a mini plate track, but
yeah, it's going to be wide open most of the race.
Don't turn the wheel too much. If you do, you're going to be plowing 20 laps in. So if you do that, you're screwed.
Don't wreck.
Yeah. Save tires when you're drafting with people.
I mean, the real question is who's going to be the driver? It'll probably end up being me. Who's going to be the driver who spins it off a turn 2 or off a turn 4 on the stage 2 restart or on the initial start at the end of lap 1? That's the real question of the race.
Cold tires are cold.
Cold tires are cold.
Me being nice, I think everyone's going to do it. So just don't be the first one.
Well, congrats on the second place finish tonight, Jonathan, and we'll hear you tomorrow night for the AMSOIL Truck Series broadcast here on JCTV. And Josh, I believe you're down in victory lane on the front stretch with our race winner, Pacey Wygent.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's about the only time I can, or the only way I can get down to victory lane is when I'm interviewing somebody, because I never seem to do it here at this track myself as a Michigander. But Pacey Wygent, first of all, I said to Brett, I think we both could agree that we wrote you off pretty early in this race after the first spin and then the second spin. And the craziness that happened all race long. I mean, in racing, you have to have the never give up attitude if you want to win. And I have to say, you had that tonight, Pacey. What was it like out there for that 0-0?
It was interesting. Let's say that. Got off sequence there a little bit in the beginning. Wanted to stay out, see what tires would do. Didn't know if taking tires on lap 8 was necessarily a good idea. That way I'd have a set there for the end, and that ended up paying off. But it was just once I got off sequence and then ended up in the back, the car felt entirely different from when I was out front. So it was a bit struggle some there coming up through the field. As you said, I got taken out a couple times there. Just the cars were wild to drive off to. About 20, 25 laps into a run, it just got really slick. I wasn't really struggling off 2. I was struggling more off 4. But I just kept my head in it and just knew I was faster than where my position was telling me I was. So I wanted to just drive back through them. I had done it twice before at that point, and we ended up getting back up to 6, and then got a lucky caution that put us back in the fight. So
now, what was it like driving up through everybody? You mentioned after the caution came out, you had those fresh tires as well. You know, so what was it like, just that final run of getting through everybody?
Which time? When I started 9th, 6th, or 5th? No, but it was perfect timing because at Michigan in the next gen cars, the tires need a couple laps before they're at optimal temps to where you can really push the car. So I figured with 9 to go pitting, that'd give me the time to get the tires up to temp and then attempt to go battle with them, knowing that their rubber on their car was a little bit more worn than mine. And then we got a caution there with, I think, 2 to go or 3 to go. And restart on the outside. I didn't really want to be on the outside, but I was gonna send it through the middle in 1 and 2. And then we got another caution. So I was like, all right, reset again. And then it was just about giving Parker the right amount of push into the back of Happyack so that we could get that inside lane really going, and hoping that the outside lane wasn't going to get the best of starts. And luckily, I was able to clear, I think, going into 1, the outside lane. So it was able to open me up a little bit, and I was able to not have to worry about being side drafted or anything like that. And at that point, it was just hitting my marks. Let's do it. And just needing to be able to get side by side with Parker. I knew if I could get side by side with him, he had no chance at blocking. So the rest is history.
All right. Well, sponsors, shout outs. Who gets it done behind that winning 00 machine?
First and foremost, I want to shout out you guys for broadcasting in NAOR, Josh Arnold and Capiak for putting it all on. Shout out to my sponsors, Jones Paint Designs. And I mean, I don't normally drive Fords, but I'm liking the way this one's driving. Yeah, just shout out to my fiance. She's always watching. Shout out to my daughter. She wasn't able to watch this time, but she'll watch it tomorrow. And shout out to the whole top 3. Parker for keeping it clean there. I know we had a little contact on the front stretch there, so. But yeah, shout out. It was a really fun race.
All right. Well, congrats on the win, and starting the season off strong.
I should probably shout out my spotter too. I always forget to do it. Rodney, there you go, buddy.
Rodney Ayers getting the shout out. All right. Congrats on the win, and we'll see you next week.
All right, 10-4.
Pacey Wygant, race winner tonight. Incredible drive out of Pacey, and that 00 machine was fast. I'm not a Ford guy, but I'll admit that Ford really nobody had anything for it.
I'm a Honda guy, and I'll admit the Ford. I mean, I run Fords on iRacing, but I'm a Honda guy, and I'll admit that Ford was pretty good.
Well, that
I wouldn't say nobody had anything for it. I think really that race could have gone. There was Ford. I think I could have easily seen Wygant, Parker, Peach, or Happyack coming away with that one tonight. I thought they were all pretty clearly the class of the field, but I thought all 4 of them had a chance at it, and just Wygent played the right call on the strategy, saving that set of tires.
You know, in the real life Cup Series, the last time a non-Ford won here was 2017, which was Kyle Larson. Ford has won every single race in the Cup Series since then. 2018, Clint Boyer, Kevin Harvick. And Kevin Harvick pretty much the rest of the time. But, yeah, I mean, incredible race. Great way to start off the season. And, let's see. Where is it at? There we go. There is our schedule. Chicagoland is next week, which was mentioned. So we'll see these guys at Chicagoland.
Yeah, lots of action, though, coming up on JCTV this week as well.
Yeah, you mentioned it earlier. The Laser Sim Racing Amsoil Truck Series takes on Las Vegas for the Grace the Cat 200, I believe. So that should be fun. And
yeah, and then, yes, I believe Tuesday we have the qualifying for the iRacing.Funny 250, assuming it still has the same name as last season. The Daytona 250 in the Slide Job Racing League. Qualifying night, pole qualifying for the season opener there. I know I'll be in the car for that. Plus, we also, I believe. Oh, I was just, and then you mentioned the NAOR series at Chicagoland next week. I might be there with you, Josh. I might be, though, in a GTP race in Daytona in the 24 hours. So we'll have to. We'll see. But if I'm there, I'm looking forward to it. This race today was a lot of fun, and I think we'll continue to have some great action next week.
yeah, it was a fun race tonight, and I expect no different next week at Chicagoland. That's going to do it from us here at my favorite track, my home track, Michigan International Speedway. As you see a great aerial shot of MIS. So thank you guys for tuning in. Big shout out to the admins and the drivers. And on behalf of Brett Bennett and the entire outstanding crew at JCTV, I'm Joshua Coppernoll, signing off, saying so long, and we will see you next time.